Everyone, welcome to another Music Talk Tuesday, and today I thought it would be interesting to briefly dive into the subject of concerts because I think concerts have held a huge significance over the years when it comes to music and the way in which it's showcased. Obviously, concerts have been around for ages, and they've invoked a lot of different things and um, oftentimes, at least nowadays, we have a lot of different options when it comes to concerts and performances and things like that. So I thought it'd be interesting to dive into my personal thoughts, at least. It seems like when you look at today, there's a lot of concerts that you can go to that have a variety of different sort of moods. Like some of them, you're just kind of sitting and you're sort of listening. This is primarily, I think, a lot with the kind of classical or jazz performances. You just go to a concert or like a big music hall and you sit and you just listen to the music and you just lay back and relax and kind of just enjoy yourself. Um, and then there are the more loud and rambunctious concerts. These are usually rock, hip hop, um, country, who are a little bit, I think, a lot more at least outdoorsy, or even if they are in like within a stadium, it's very loud, everybody's standing up, everybody's cheering, some people are even maybe singing along. So there's a lot of, there's a hugely, vastly different vibe that you get from these two potential kinds of settings. Um, and although there are times where I do prefer, kind of having that kind of get up out of your seat sort of feel, obviously, um, in certain instances at least. And again, I can obviously enjoy those kinds of concerts, and I can also enjoy the ones where I'm just kind of sitting and taking in the whole experience. I think the problem with a lot of concerts nowadays, at least, I don't know if it's really always been this way, but they're pretty expensive. And it's, I think, become a lot more difficult to get tickets, um, because now with the rise of the internet and people being able to really access things really early on, if you're not up on top of it, it's already sold out, and the chance of you being able to go see a performance, I think, really slims out. And, obviously, too, usually concerts go around big cities, and, you have to be around those areas in order to go to a performance. Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that some of, at least nowadays, the rise of technology has made it a lot more difficult, I think, for people to really have a chance to go see something. And I think a lot of that has to do with, again, the price, but obviously also the rise of, not being able to go because it's already been sold out, or it's already been uh, it's all the tickets are sort of taken, and maybe your only shot is if you call in on a radio station, which they still do a lot, at least nowadays. But I think that's really how a lot of them are sort of formatted and kind of structured. Uh, the thing too is that a lot of the time, at least when you go to concerts nowadays, I mean, even if I just see footage of concerts, I will see people with literally their phones out. And the thing is too is I don't understand, because I think the purpose of a concert is sort of to go for the experience. And when you're sort of taping the experience, it's just taking away from your enjoyment of it. And in doing so, trying to kind of replace it with something that's really not organic. And that's what I don't kind of understand. And I think it might also, I think, discourage people maybe from even going, because it's like, oh, I can just watch it from my laptop. And And I almost want to say that's really not the same as actually going and seeing somebody perform, or experiencing, hearing the sounds and whatnot. That's just not the same at all. But I can understand that it has made it a lot more accessible. And in doing so, you have only got a certain amount of people being able to go, but then being able to showcase it for millions is nice. But again, it's obviously not the same as sort of actually being there. At least I feel, in my opinion. Um, but I think, uh, although the variety has, I think, uh, has given rise to obviously more people being able to choose where they want to go and what they want to experience. Um, at the same time, I think concerts are really what's sort of facilitating a lot of musicians, at least nowadays, and even within the 20th century, because that's really where the real money was, and really where you could sort of get yourself actually out there and people to actually see you doing your work and your material, and and that just has something that just brings something completely interesting and unique to the table that you can't really get from any other form of really media. um, and I think that's just something that's really interesting because you can actually see the work being done actually in real time. um, and are there obviously people who, really upstage things and, go crazy and, uh, are there people who even lip sync too? I mean, lip syncing has been a problem. Yeah, I totally see that those things are kind of an issue now with technology, but at the same time, it's still nice to see that concerts are still going and are still sort of a part of the whole music experience. I mean, I hope that doesn't fade away. I mean, I hope that there's a certain amount of marketability for it. And again, I think it is really the only real chance to really see something actually being done in real time. Again, it's not like, you can go and watch really a movie in the same way that you could watch something done live with music. So, yeah, it's a completely great and interesting experience overall. I think that it obviously has changed a lot over the years, and um, again, I think sometimes they can get a little bit too crazy, a little bit too over the top. Sometimes there are just concerts where I go, even some really like large ones. I just think to myself, why would no, no way, no way, you can never drag me there. Just no way. So I've always been more of a mellow person in that I mean, I don't mind having the big crowds sometimes. I just think sometimes the big crowds can kind of get a little bit out of control. And sometimes it becomes a little bit disruptive, and it kind of damages the the whole experience because again, you'll get people who will um, you know cause a scene, or start saying things, or just behaving inappropriately. So you have all of that, and that could have been a part of a lot of concerts even way back in the day, but even now it's still kind of like uh, one of those things that at least I try to avoid. And I think a lot of the more bigger concerts, or at least the ones that involve an extensive amount of people and people like going crazy and you know just doing things that you wouldn't even catch me dead doing. uh, that I think just puts a detriment on the whole experience for me. So I really try to avoid those kinds of uh, events. And I've rarely been to any concerts though, because again, a lot of them are really expensive, and you almost have to know like way, way, way ahead of time. Okay, so and so is coming to here. Okay, I can go there, and I could go see a performance. So yeah, you do have that kind of limit of, being at the right place at the right time and being able to sort of get the tickets, which unfortunately sometimes doesn't end up happening with a lot of people because the tickets end up being really sold out really quick. And a lot of that has to do with, again, the tickets being, uh, sort of being showcased online really early, and then it's spreading, and then just not being in on it early enough. But I think that's really ultimately all I can say, though, really, when it comes to this topic. Be more than happy to hear what anybody else has to say in regards to their experiences, if they've ever been to any concerts at all, if they've ever had any experiences that were positive, negative, or whatever. Be more than happy to hear, but I think that's really all I can say about this topic. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year, and I hope to see you on the next video. Take care. Bye.